do we celebrate our loved ones? Is it when they are alive or when they have died? Hello, televiewers. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this 5 p.m. edition of your favorite program on Fridays, which comes up all the time on Divine Mercy Radio Television. The program coming your way at the moment is Issues with me, Fomucha Mirabel. Today's edition of the program, we shall be taking a keen look on how funerals are celebrated nowadays. Is it more of a show or a time of grief? We are going to be discussing on this edition of the program today. So stay tuned. Our numbers shall be displayed on the screen for you to chip in your contributions if you have any, or you can hook up with us on Facebook at Divine Mercy Radio Television Service and let us know what you think on the comment section. Do not go away as we come back right after the break. Hello, beautiful people. Happy Friday, and thank you again for joining us on this edition of Issues on Divine Mercy Radio Television. Joining us on the program today, by my right, I want to say a big welcome to you, Mama, the Mama of Issues, Mama Shira. You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Mirabel. Thank you, the people out there. It's been such a long time. I'm happy to be back on the program.
We are happy to have you back on board. And by my left, our regular guest is right here, Madam Kumsara. How are you today?
Madam Mira, we say thank you. I'm fine. Happy weekend. And welcome back from the Vatican City. I'm telling you, and we say happy weekend to all the televiewers. Stay tuned as we discuss.
Thank you so much for welcoming me back, and blessings from the Holy Father. Today's edition of the program, let us look at how funerals are being celebrated today. And just to say that one of our viewers talked to Madame Sarah about this concern, and that's why we are having this topic of discussion today. And before we get into the crux of the matter, I would like us to look at what the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us about the celebration of Christian funerals. Paragraph 1684 of the Catechism of the Catholic Church tells us that the Christian funeral is a liturgical celebration of the Church. The ministry of the Church in this instance aims at expressing efficacious communion with the deceased, at the participation in that communion of the community gathered for the funeral, and at the proclamation of eternal life to the community. So that is what the Catechism tells us about the celebration of funerals. Now, death is a reality, and in one way or the other, those of us seated here today have been touched by death, and those of you watching us today have been touched by death. That is the reality. And so I would like to find out from our guests of today what feelings come their way when they hear of the death of a loved one. And I'll begin with Madame Kumsara by my left.
Thank you so much, Madam Mira, for giving me the upper hand to begin. First of all, it was a touching reality on that day, which I called, it was one of our regular viewer on this program. I don't know what happened. We were just passing by, and we saw people, and they were chanting, they were jubilating, and they got angry. Now the discussion started like, but what are we really doing? Now we will start, what is death all about? It is that act of dying. It's the act of dying or being killed. And what do you feel? How do you feel when you get, or when you have that news of a loved one? You'll be shocked. You'll be angry. You'll be frustrated. You'll be shocked. You'll be angry and frustrated.
Three things in one.
And those three things, when they come together, are you sure in your normal you, when you are angry, can you really
be happy? A contradiction. You cannot be angry and you're happy.
Yes.
Because anger brings sadness.
When you are frustrated, do you think in a clear direction?
No.
When you are shocked, do you have that reality to start thinking on those wonderful things to celebrate? So when that news gets into your ear that you have lost a lost one, that anger, that part of, if you really love that person, you'll be angry, you'll be shocked, you'll be frustrated. And then now, with all that, what comes to your mind now on how you have to give that person a befitting
burial,
or how you're going to lay that person to rest? You are, first of all, you are angry that I've lost a loved one. Sorry, I am frustrated. I am shocked. Now you have to first of all those three things come with a solemn mindset. I cannot be angry and I'm happy. Those things does not work. I cannot be frustrated and I'm happy. I cannot be shocked and then I think of doing something big. All what we are saying now is those feelings, when they come to your mind, at the end of the day, what do you really do after those feelings? You have them in your mind, because at the end of the day, if you have those feelings, you start thinking on a quiet way to lay down that person to rest, on a solemn way to lay down that person to rest. Okay. On a Christian way, like the church talk about it, it's a liturgical celebration to lay down that person to rest. A solemn celebration to lay down that person to rest. Not this usual. I cannot be shocked, frustrated, and angry. And then now, after that, I start thinking of one big occasion to give that person a befitting burial.
So summarily, what you're saying is that when you hear of death, you are shocked.
You are shocked.
You're frustrated.
You're frustrated.
And you're angry.
You are angry.
Mama, do you have a contrary opinion to this?
I agree with her. But for me, I look at it from two perspectives. Okay. The death of a loved one. Did the death come on suddenly? Was it sudden death? Like having a tragic accident like the one we had about 2 months ago. That comes to mind. And then I also think, was the person ill? Was the illness protracted? Did the person take such a long time in bed, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, and then I begin to focus on that aspect. If the death was sudden, oh my God, just as Sarah said, that is the same way I'll feel.
That shock,
yes,
that
the shock will be, and in that instance where you are so shocked, you cannot even, you try to cry, you can't even cry. You just sit there like a zombie, and you're just wondering. Your mind is so abstract. Is it true? Can it really be true? Is it a reality? Am I dreaming? All those questions come to mind, and then eventually, when you some sort of cool down,
you start accepting the reality.
Accepting, and then you start crying and you start pouring out the emotions. But then, if it was some sort of protracted illness and this person had to spend a long time in bed,
pain,
surely you were praying and telling God that, Heavenly Father, I pray for this person to live, but then
if it is thy
let
will,
your will be done. That is what I usually say. I say my prayers and I say, Father, let your will be done. And in all honesty, somebody who dies from a protracted illness, you should be happy that God has called home that person. If you start crying and wailing and mourning, then you are not being honest to yourself. You are not being honest to that person, and you are not being honest to God. Sometimes we should pray let God's will be done. They will say, Father, thank you for doing this, for taking this person away from us.
And Mama, you just confirmed, like the bishop preached today during the celebration of the 32nd World Day of the Sick, which took place at Mount Mary Hospital. His sermon was focused on, he said, he prayed that God should restore good health to the patients according to his will. Which means that God can respond in any way. God can bring you back to your feet, and God can also say that, come back, my beloved, and rest with me. So I'm just confirming what you're saying, that in times of illness, sometimes not even sometimes, all the times, God answers us according to his will. And I want us to briefly look at how funerals are celebrated nowadays. I want us to give an assessment of how we have funerals every day. Today is Friday. I know the road was jam-packed with removal of corpses here and there, people mourning, people weeping, people celebrating, people being happy in the midst of anger. So a lot of things happen on Fridays. So I want us to let us have an assessment of your opinion. How do you see our funeral celebrations today, Madam Sarah?
Madam Mira, the thing is we are exaggerating things.
Okay.
I don't know if that is how it is being celebrated back there in the Europe and the Asia and all the like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember there was this friend we lost. He traveled out for treatment but could not make it. The next thing we received was a box full of ash that they have burned him, and that they just sent it back.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we received, and we bury it. But now these days we think of doing a grand occasion. I am saying this because when you go to funeral ground these days, you will see, we used to know, yes, they can celebrate Mama's life well spent.
Yeah.
Mama is 120.
Mm-hmm.
Mama has gone to rest, and the children say that, okay, we are celebrating Mama's life year on earth.
Yeah.
But now the way of celebrating too is a call for consent.
Mm-hmm.
You not go to a funeral ground and then you see they have dressed the chairs as if we are doing the marriage. Is a marriage feast there.
Yeah.
They start thinking, truth be told, even at the point of that this person it was a protracted illness, there are families that will not still green, will not still accept
that this person should just leave them
should
like
just
that.
leave them like that.
Mm-hmm.
That shock.
If
And
there was a way to stop death, all of us would prevent that death.
yes, even if Mama is 120,
Mm-hmm.
the children will still cry until that is, they love her, they love seeing her, but it is God's will that she should go
At
at
that
that time.
to rest.
But now the way we are celebrating, I was touched last week Saturday. What happened? I nod my head. I said, wow, this is what we should be learning. We buried a small child. May he so rest in peace.
Amen.
It was from my school. At that cemetery, that point, one man just stood up. Was one, maybe he's in charge of their village meeting. That in their tribe, after this place, do not think you are going home to share
For reception.
to share something with this family,
To eat. And
do
to
not think from this place. If you are passing, you are just passing to greet.
Yeah.
You are not going there that
with the intention
with
of
the
eating
intention
and
of
drinking,
eating
saying that we are
and
celebrating
drinking.
the life of this child.
So
at 9 years
from
old.
here you can decide to go back home. Madam Mira, I was so happy. Truth be told, I was so happy. I felt like something has started happening, because you don't see a small child dying, but at the end of that day, the parents say, okay, we are celebrating his life, we are entertaining people. Immediately from that point, some of us, we left back to our houses.
Yes.
We had a wonderful liturgical celebration in church. That's how the church was full.
Exactly. Just within one day.
Within one day, the child died today. The next day,
the
he
child
was removed. That's how church was full. Back behind the church at the cemetery there, he was laid to rest. They announced it there, and I was so nothing was prepared in that house. If you are going to drink water, maybe with the anger and the shock and the frustration, maybe they will not even know way to carry water for people to drink. So after a year, you are going back. You will not celebrate life when you are shocked. You will not celebrate life when you are frustrated. You will not celebrate life when you are angry that you have lost somebody very dear to you. But if that person was somebody who can, okay, we'll just have a bite. Like, to be honest, I like this our tradition, this corn and granite tradition. I love
and that's
it.
what we're used to in the day. When I was growing, I knew that when you go for funeral, they'll just give you small corn and boiled groundnuts in a small plate. Sometimes even in your hand.
Yes, I love this tradition of corn and granite. Now it's because they'll tell us that it's technology. We are growing fast. We are in a growing world. That is true. But if you look at the contributions that family will have to make to celebrate that funeral, they can sponsor one other person with that amount. Okay, we have lost this person. This person is giving 500,000 because we have estimated about 7 million to run this funeral. Now it becomes a competition. Another person, now you have slogan like, did that place no giam?
The die no be fine.
That die no be fine. That die no be fine. How can a funeral be
fine?
That die no be fine.
How can a funeral be fine?
Because there was not enough food.
And there was not enough drinks.
That person may have consumed a can, just a can, and he or she will tell you, that die place no giam. It be just that other die place be fine, sute. Now they start looking the rate of death or how beautiful it should be on how you entertain people. Do I lose somebody and I start entertaining the population? How are we doing it? It is true that people come to condole. It is true that when 2 or 3 are gathered, maybe you may share something with them, but we should not exaggerate.
It shouldn't be the priority.
It shouldn't even, like, okay, we are celebrating, okay, this girl is dead. The children, they have their own ashwabi. The friends, they have their own ashwabi. The mothers, they have their own ashwabi.
Just like in weddings, you have the children, you have mothers of the day, sisters of the day, brothers of the day.
So now at the end of the day, everything, I was shocked too. Let me tell you something, what happened years behind. A young girl died. It was a shocking, a sudden death. Madam Mira, a young girl died in the family. After the funeral, or after they have laid her to rest, the family will sit. People are talking here. The way we dress here. Now so it be fine. It clothes be fine. People don't come. That's what the family, the sisters and the mother were discussing in the house. We're just beside and we're just outside. I look at it, I nod my head. So we prayed death should come so that
you dress them so beautifully.
We get them a nice casket. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday that before now they will not sell coven around the hospital junction. We used to know that they'll give other carpenters who nail. Just imagine somebody going to the hospital at that critical condition and
seeing a coffin.
Just imagine, and then the heart already tells you that any moment from now, and then
maybe one of these coffins that I'm seeing belongs to me,
and then those coffin makers too, they may be praying that, okay, we need customers to come and patronize her.
Of course, they are praying.
Yes.
Why do they make coffins and keep? They are praying that
people will die. Let me hold you there, Madam Sarah. Let me just talk to Mama Shira. If these people don't make coffins, how do we bury the dead?
Oh, Mira, to answer you, in those days, how were they burying the dead? No coffins were made. When somebody dies, if the carpenter starts making the coffin today, by tomorrow they will be through. There were carpenters all over the place, and even now there are more carpenters. I don't see any reason why they make coffins and keep. You are preparing for people to die. The people should come and buy the coffin so that you make money. Because if somebody dies today and you order for a coffin, no matter what quality of coffin you want, you're not going to bury that person the next day. Even the next 2 days, you're not going to bury. You can still order a coffin for about, give the person 2-3 days, and a perfect coffin will be made to your taste. So honestly, I don't believe in this thing that right there at the hospital entrance, every place is filled with coffins. My goodness, I mean, we have started.
Scary.
It is really, really scary. It's really, really scary. And then for me, I would think that celebrations nowadays, there are misplaced priorities. the priorities are so misplaced. Somebody dies, you are not thinking of how you're going to manage it after the person dies. We are thinking of how we are going to dress the house, make a good coffin. I mean, put chairs which are decorated. Are we attending a wedding? And then the rate of the celebration, the rate of the celebration is based on the decor, the entertainment, as we have already said, and all those other things, how dressed the coffin is, how we the family we are going to dress as per as you've already mentioned, mothers of the days, fathers of the days, friends of the deceased. It is terrible. I had an experience where the mother of a classmate died, and do you know for how long that mama's corpse was kept? For 6 months. Because they wanted to build a house in the village where that mama would be laid.
Yeah.
She was in the mortuary for 6 months to prepare to build a house to receive a mama's coffin, mama's corpse. Mama was alive. No house was built for her in the village. But the day she died, they kept her and went and built a house in the village. To me, honestly, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. I know that we should give people a befitting burial, but do not exaggerate. Don't exaggerate. Just do it according to your means. And the fun is that when somebody dies, they go now, they have family meetings. You're going to decorate the house.
You provide the coffin.
You provide the coffin. You
take care of this.
You take care of mama's dress. You just do this. Meanwhile, this person was alive and nobody ever even visited them. Not to talk of giving them something gorgeous or something good to eat. So for me, we have misplaced priorities nowadays, and the sooner we get back to the African tradition, the better.
Now let us look at the family members, because oftentimes family members and friends have been dragged for not taking care of the sick when they are still alive. They say when people are sick, they just say, where Ashia? Sometimes the Ashia doesn't even come. Oh, sorry. They don't even pray for them. But once they hear that they have died, they start calling. When are they removing the corpse? What can I do to assist? That's when all the contributions keep coming in. Now, Madam Sarah, do you find anything? Because like we are saying during or like we have said, when someone dies, it's a time of confusion. It is a time of frustration. Don't you think that these other family members who are coming to support at this moment and friends who are coming to support at this moment, is it not necessary?
Madam Mira, it is very necessary to show love. We don't only show love to the dead. Let's struggle to be ourselves. Let's be one, so that they may be one. If we are together, we start building that love. From that moment, that person, we know that this person will be confused. Because when somebody is sick, I have to run scatter to. If you are there too, this one is there too. This other person too is there. And me, that I'm the immediate person, I'm the immediate family member of that person who is sick. With that confusion and that frustration and that shockness in me, those persons now come into help. It will be very normal. Rather than waiting for me to be frustrated before you give me that helping hand. It does not speak well. But we are talking about befitting burial. Befitting burial comes in so many ways. It does not mean you should bring heaven down before you know that you have given this person a befitting burial. Do you know at times they give all that befitting burial, but they leave out this liturgical part?
Exactly.
They leave out that particular part.
And even the liturgical part is a show.
It's a show nowadays. It's a show nowadays. Because we have gone out of track. We think of just showcasing, we should love from within. Don't wait when I am down before you show me that love. It is true that when I am down, you can also hold my hand. Don't wait when I've gone right down. You are alive today. let me tell you something. On your birthday, check how many people will post you that
Exactly.
happy birthday, Madam Mira,
That's
or
true.
I am celebrating you.
But wait until I die.
Wait.
The world will post
Ha.
and say how much they loved this lady.
Mommy.
Oh, this was my friend when I did not even know you.
That is it. Wait, when you are not there, just that particular day, the whole social media will cry you.
That's true.
The whole world will shout your praises.
That's true.
But today, we are unable to look at people and tell you where you are doing it. We appreciate you. We love you. We only want to talk all those lies when they are not there.
When they're not there.
Give people their flowers when they are alive.
alive.
They can take it and smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait when they are not there. You go there and you make a good. What was that? Let's not fool ourselves.
Mira,
Yes,
I mean,
Mama Shira, you want to add something to
Sarah,
that?
just to buttress your point, I had a very bitter experience when I was really sick. In fact, most of my meetings had already drawn my funeral program. They knew that I was going to die. And some meetings where I was the president, they said now she was one drawing funeral programs. Now who is going to do her own? And they were wondering how they were going to do it. I was so sick. My mother was so sick. She left the village and came and was staying with me. Do you know that even a lab test we could not pay we couldn't pay for our lab test because I did not have the money. But then my mother looked at me and said, God, where is my daughter going to? She said, Heavenly Father, if you love me, take only me. And she hit her head like this. She said, take only me,
And
but
let
leave
my
my
daughter
daughter
be.
alive. My mother went home and she stayed 1 month, 2 weeks, and she died.
Terrible.
I was still very sick. Do you know what happened? The first person who heard about my mother's death and sent me money was, she sent 100,000 francs. 100 and plus something. That's somebody who never gave me money when my mother was sick.
Was sick.
Money started pouring in. 50, 20, 10, 25. All the money kept coming. But when I was sick and my mother was sick, nobody gave
showed
me
up.
a franc. I did not even have money to buy drugs. I some sort of begged, and some people who had that empathy, they gave me money. But then, and that is just what I'm saying. I'm saying that we should love people while they are alive. Why they can appreciate us. Why don't you buy the drugs?
Exactly.
Why don't you say, Mama, take this, even for a tablet of aspirin? Why don't you say, sister, take this, even to pay transport to and from the house to bring Mama even hot water? No, we will not do it. We are waiting for the death to come, and then we show the love.
And Mama Shira, there's something that they will always say that we are celebrating. Even when you look at the banners flying, we are celebrating the life of Pa. The question I used to ask is that do you celebrate with them or without
them?
Do you celebrate with those people so that even on the day of their celebration, of celebrating their life, they can also have a cup of water to drink? If they cannot drink wine, they cannot drink sweet drinks because maybe of their condition. Do we actually celebrate our loved ones while they are still alive?
I mean, sometimes even talking about this celebration of life, we should not celebrate with people only when they are ill. People should be healthy. I should be healthy, so if you bring my wine, I can drink it and savor it and enjoy it. We sit together and we sit and we chat and we talk about family issues, or we talk about the good olden days, and we enjoy ourselves.
Exactly.
Don't wait until I am sick and you bring when I cannot eat. Usually I don't visit patients with food because I know that they will not eat that food.
To eat. That's true.
The people around will eat that food.
Yeah.
I wait until you feel better. You can eat, and I ask you, what can you eat? Tell me what you want to eat, and I'll prepare it and bring it and sit down and serve you, and you eat, and I see you eating. For me, that's the best thing to do. So we should not be going with crates and crates of drinks and cartons of wines to give our friends when their people are dead. We should celebrate with those people when they are alive and they are healthy, because for me, health is the most important thing in life.
Exactly.
There's nothing you can give me which is I'm going to compare with my health.
With your
I
health.
prefer to be healthy, and I want to eat my roasted chicken now, and I send the roasted and I eat. I want to drink my wine they bring and I eat. Don't wait until I'm sick. When you know that I love wine and those other delicacies, you bring them when I'm sick. No, bring them when I'm healthy.
When you're
so that
healthy.
we sit and chat and we talk about issues, bygones and even now, and that is what love is all about.
Perfect.
And Madam Mira, I know that issue of celebrating this death or what funeral, it's a competition nowadays.
Oh,
It's a competition because
are you telling us?
Right.
because this family has done this.
I want to do more than what they
Start
did.
thinking like, if I lost a parent today,
How am I going to celebrate it?
celebrate it? Will I be able to? You start thinking of how to celebrate it when that person is no longer there because of how the society
Has made it to be.
Because of how the society want us to celebrate, or because of how the society are forcing us to celebrate.
Yeah, we want to follow the trend.
We want to follow this trend that this is how they are doing it. But is it correct? Is
the
it
question.
correct? Now, you that cannot do it, your name moves round. Your name moves around like Wi-Fi.
You see, they don't even do nothing. So for that mommy way so far, waka empty foot for take care of that picking them. They could not just do and can't see that place.
They will not know what you people are passing through, but they have just one thing in mind. You even see girls these days dressing, looking good to go and attend a funeral. We have good and handsome men that are to touch that funeral ground.
Yes, just to hold you there. There was I'm going to use this example. There's this Pa. We know of Pa Mignoli. All of us know of Pa Mignoli. Yeah, he was a very wealthy person. Yeah. When he died, the day that the news of his death, you know, there was one lady who said by me, she said, I beg Mira, I go start find my clothes so I get for wear am here.
Yes.
And I was like, you don't know this Pa. You don't know the children. You don't know any family member. You are just a member. You are just a member of the community of Boya.
Boya.
And you want to start preparing the dress that you are going to use for Pa's funeral, because the big guns will be there on that day. There. We know that people meet at various places
to do some work or meet new faces.
Exactly, but is that really the time? Because when someone dies, like you rightly said at the beginning, the first thing that comes to your mind, Pa Mignoli, who has done so much
to the community.
Yeah. How will I pray for him? What can I do so that God can receive his soul? But you start thinking of the dress that you are going to put on
the day of the funeral.
Mama Shira.
In fact, I had that down here. Some girls, they dress to kill.
To kill the dead.
Dress to kill. These they are low cuts, whatever they wear, God alone knows. But you see a person at a funeral looking like a painted doll. So painted. You spend 2-3 hours in the salon to prepare yourself. Where are you going to?
Funeral.
To funeral.
To kill the dead.
Do you even imagine that someday you're going to be in that state? And if people behave like that, how are you going to feel? With dresses slashed up right to the hips, shoes as long as 6 inches, you are going for a funeral. It is good though, but we should know how we do it. We should know where we do it. Same like we are saying, celebrating the life of a person when they are dead. It is good still, but it depends. Did you take care of that person while they were alive? If so, then you should celebrate. But if you didn't, you should be ashamed
of yourself.
Don't even do any celebration. Don't do any celebration. At times you see somebody who is so sick, there's nobody to take care of them. But when they die, my goodness, you see all the flashy girls, flashy boys, all the cars, they come and park. And I've warned my children. I say, please, give me now while I'm alive, or let me eat. Don't wait until the day I'm dead, and then those your high class friends, they'll come and park their cars along the road and say my mother is dead. I don't want to hear it. Give me now while I'm alive. Let me enjoy it. And I think every child, that's what they should do to a parent. Appreciate your parents while they are alive. Don't appreciate them when they are gone. You want to show off. You want to be extravagant. It's not good. But if you were extravagant while the parents were alive, fine and good, then go ahead and do it. For me, that's the way I look at it.
Let us look at the financial implication of these funerals today. Some people go as far as taking loans just to celebrate their loved ones.
Yes,
What's
Madam.
your opinion on that?
Yes, Madam Mira, that is what we are saying now. Because the society, they have sent us to a situation that we cannot handle. People are just doing, like we always talk in this life, people compete a lot. There's a lot of competition. Do what you can do. How can I be burying my mother, and then I think of taking a loan of 2 million to give her a befitting burial, whereas the family needs that money after that burial? It's like I used to hear that you go take loan for make marriage.
Then after, I can't drink Gary for house. Sometimes the Gary is not even there.
You go take loan for bury person where you know go prayer for the, you know, if you prayer for the person. Those things are contradicting us. Which one is important? A liturgical celebration that a priest will not refuse if that person is a full-time. That's what encourage ourselves to be part and parcel of the community life in our society. Make sure you are present. Make sure you participate in church. You contribute and you belong. So that at the end of the day, maybe that Christian burial, those people that even comes now to start, but at times too, I want that the church too can also have a saying in family when they are burying their loved ones, because they can also teach them. People are doing things these days, maybe they don't know, and maybe they are just frustrated and they are confused. They just think of doing what they think others are doing. But don't be ashamed to walk up to a reverend gentleman and ask, well, Papa, I have lost this person. How can we do it? This is what we have. This is what we think of doing. Like there are spiritual backup. They will not tell you to go more than what you cannot go. They'll even ask you some certain questions that will help you to know how to celebrate this funeral that you want to celebrate. Not that you just think and then you just, okay, Father, this is the program. We are coming with Mama on this day. Then Father goes through it. Father gives reading and all the like. But let's bring them. They are with us. They have come with us. They are part of our family. Let's bring them so that they can also help us to advise us on how we should go about giving befitting burials to our loved ones, rather than thinking within or thinking out of our brain. And maybe we need to do decoration. This person is doing it. The person now fails us. I start thinking of going to get loan, and then at the end of it, I start struggling to go and refund the loan, and I start struggling to take care of. Maybe I am the breadwinner. Okay, let me say I am the first, and I have to bury one of my parents, and then I have gone to somewhere to look for money, and then after that, I'm struggling to pay, and I'm also struggling to take care of my sibling that I am left with. Look at it. Put at it on a scale, and then look at it. Bring those people. They are a spiritual background. They are not just there to pray. They have all the skill to also educate us on what to counsel us, to help us, to guide us, not only in joyful mode, but also in so. It's just that we are not making good use of our priests these days. Because when you call someone a spiritual backup, a spiritual director, he has that insight to help you, coordinate you, and he will not give you, maybe you think that he is just saying it, where is the money he is giving me? But you can have all the money, you don't have that advice. Some people have money, but don't have that business idea, and at the end of the day, they waste their money. But if you bring those priests in, they'll help you, they'll direct you, they'll help you plan on how to give mama or papa a befitting burial. Not going out of your comfort zone, out of your way because you want to please the society.
I agree with you, because sometimes when you're in that state of confusion, you just think about everything and you do the wrong things. And we have to also ask ourselves, because we blame the society to a lot, but I think we should start blaming ourselves. Yes, because God has given us that will. They have given you have a choice. They say good or bad. God has given you that sense of thinking, of knowing what to do and what not to do. If A is going left, I must not go left. I should ask myself, these fingers, they are not the same. Why should I go left with my small finger when I'm the middle finger, taller than the small finger? So in a case where people go as far as taking loans because they want to give a befitting burial to one mama or papa, the question the family should be asking themselves is, if mama was alive, will she allow me to dare into this? If mama was alive, how will she want us to celebrate this funeral? And after taking this loan, what becomes of me? So you put yourself in an unnecessary situation of tension because of competition. And at the end of the day, you blame the society for pushing you to that train. No. We have minds of our own, and we are supposed to use our minds to do what is right for us. Cut your coat according to your material. If your size is too large. If your size is too large, cut your coat according to your material. So let us now look at, what do we propose, or as Christians, Madam Shira, as Christians, how should we celebrate the death of a loved one?
For me, we have to bid that Christian farewell. Should tell them bye-bye in a reasonable way. We know that losing somebody can be very, very demoralizing. Everything about you goes down the drain. You just feel like the world has come to an end. But then, that is life. You should accept it. Don't go doing things that are beyond your capacity simply because you want to give somebody a befitting. But as you have rightly said, you should cut your coat according to the size of your cloth, not even your size, because your size can be bigger and your cloth is small. Wear the shoe that fits you. Do not go borrowing, because people go borrowing, go assuring eventually. So why should you borrow to bury somebody? I remember my uncle died, and I took the senior uncle to the market that we should get something good for him to put on. And when we got to the market, I was looking at a suit which was quite, expensive. And my uncle looked at me and said, "Madam, please, calm down. You're going too high." I said, "Calm down. Calm down. You are going too high." Because he knew my financial strength. And he showed me another one. And that one was much cheaper. He said, "After this one, you're just going to put it in the ground. So calm down to your size of money." And I came down, and afterwards I thanked my uncle very much, because he gave me sound advice. There's no point going above your means to get a suit for somebody who is dead when you cannot actually afford it. So for me, I just think that we should do it according to our means, not according to the society. In fact, I went to one funeral, and I was so angry. I left without eating, and I because I can't shut my mouth now, I opened my mouth and I spoke, because there was this girl who was sick. The husband did not have the money, and he some sort of went around begging, and people were giving him small drops. Eventually this girl died. My goodness. The coffin that this girl was placed inside, the dress that she wore, And then the way they dressed the house, I entered and I looked and I started talking there and then. I said, this is somebody for whom they went around begging. Is this the person? And then there was lavish food. You eat, you sit down, you go and you come and sit down. And I commented very vehemently where I was sitting. Say, Mama, I beg, keep. I said, I will not keep quiet. I got so angry, I just got up and I went home. They had asked my choice and I foolishly gave it. But when I saw all those things, I got so angry.
Did you not even drink?
No, I stood. They followed me with the drink. I said, I will not drink. Go and give it to people who want to drink. I mean, you can't spend so lavishly on somebody who is dead when the person was alive and you never help. So we can, in those type of cases, you know, you just get really, really frustrated. And that's what we say. That's why we say that we should take care of people when they are alive, not when they are dead. I know such extravagance can also bring bad belly, the bad belly that some people have in them. Yeah. They can make all sorts of comments. They can even curse you and insult you. Look, they know if you take care of man way
their life.
See now. I mean, all those statements are so.
They pray may die.
Yes, they pray make it die. So for me, I just think that we should take care of the soul. And just to quote another example, this funeral right in my side there where I stay, this mother died and groups were giving money. My own group had to give money, a church group. And I said, let us go into this money, remove something and offer mercies for this mama. And one member of the church group was sitting there saying, the day they look people, they never even get money for feed people. You talk now the one for make mass. I just removed the money and I put it in their hands and I left. That's a Christian woman. She doesn't think of the where that mother's soul is going to, because we are supposed to pray for people when they die. You should pray and ask God to forgive them. Even if they were alive and they were praying, not to talk of the ones that never even knew what was prayers. So I think that we should offer mercies for people. Offer as many mercies as you can. We should pray for the dead. Even in the Bible, they prayed for the dead. When who they went to war and what happened, and the man went back and said they should contribute money to offer mercies for the dead. And that was done. So we should offer mercies for the dead and stop thinking only of food, of how we are going to eat. You should treat that corpse as if it were yours. Suppose you're lying there and nobody thinks about the welfare of your soul. Already, I mean, after all you have gone, so you don't even know about it. But those of us who are alive, we should learn to pray for the dead. We should show that love by praying for them. We should show them that concern. We should pray for the dead so that God will at least look at our prayers and maybe forgive the person and take them to where they are actually supposed to be. Because God made us to love him, to serve him, to come back and to be with him
forever.
So we should think of where somebody is going to when they are dead. They should go back to God and be with him.
Thank you so much, Mama. Madam Sarah,
Madam Mira,
to add?
Yes, I also think that like family, we should learn to discuss about dead. Yes, it is something which is sure. But if we learn to discuss, I used to have one of my family, he would tell us, if I die today, me man no wear me coats. We'll ask why. He said they are alive, so I never wear coats. That's how I don't die. Una put coat on my skin. In clear words, and it is right there inside of us, and we know that people can do anything small. Pray for me, let me go. Do not put on that on my body. Those are his word. Because he has not put it on. He's somebody that does not like it.
Yeah.
Now you go and start putting it when he will not see it, when he will not enjoy it, when it is not part of him. Say, do something small. Remember, do not put suit on my body. He has already struggled. He is struggling to discuss death with us.
He's giving his will already.
Yes, verbally. Yes. Just discussing that it should not be something you must not. Something small. Anywhere, anytime. But those things, don't do what simple words. When we get to that point of discussing, trying to know, because these days we have not accepted it. We are still struggling to. I remember when we were growing up, when we talk about death, now so many had go, God,
Yes.
that fright just come inside. But now, with the reality on
Death
ground,
is like normal.
not like
Yes.
You are
So-
moving with it in you. now.
in you are
go
moving
along
with it.
everywhere.
So we should start discussing. Don't you think we should? This is how it should be when I'm still alive, or if we are sick, we struggle to. We should not only wait, and even if at that time you do not have, we should do this. We should not do this. We should work according to our pace. If we start discussing that, then we will know that there are things too we have also embraced, and we should work with it with what we have. We should not go above what we don't have, because at the end of the day, we are doing it to please the population, not to even please that person.
That person.
We don't even know where that person is. We don't even pray for that person. We only think about food, drink, and how the environment will look like on that day.
In fact, for me nowadays, one of the things I'm not afraid of is death.
Is that?
I don't fear death even for 1 second. And thank God you don't see it when it's coming. It just comes and grips you and off you are gone. You don't even know. But then I struggle to discuss with my family, and when I try to give them small tips, they tell me, Mommy, stop that. I say, stop it. Please listen to what I am saying. Don't say stop it, because you remember it when I'm gone. Maybe you not even remember the details,
Yes.
but they should listen. My younger ones, I always tell them, it can come at any
Anytime.
moment. So please, I want this done. I want this done. Don't do this. Don't. They say, Mommy, please just stop it. I say, I will not stop it. I'll keep talking until you listen.
I
to me.
remember.
I keep talking.
You keep
Listen to
talking.
me,
Mothers
yes.
are always like that. I remember when my mother was alive, she would always say, when she wants to talk about death, I was one of those who say, Mommy, stop, please, I don't want to hear about that. And she would tell me, you are saying stop. When I die, even when you send an aunt to come and tell me something, that aunt will not come back and give you feedback. And that's the reality, which means that when our parents are talking to us, let us listen.
Listen.
And she spoke like that for like 10, 15 years. So she did not die, Talking about death doesn't mean that you're
You're dying
today.
today.
is it.
No.
That's what she always told me, that
Yes.
if I'm telling you about death, it doesn't mean that I'm dying today. So, but she prepared us for a very long time before she disappeared, or she went to eternity.
In fact,
Now,
I'm even thinking that I should meet some priest, because nowadays to have a spiritual director it's something abstract. You can't have a priest. Everybody is so busy. I work here, I'm going here. You need advice to go to a priest. You can't have them. So I'm wanting somebody who will opt to be my spiritual director. If the priests are listening to me, please
the
call
priests are
me.
definitely
Yes.
Let me
listening. They're
Call me
definitely
and
watching.
let us do my funeral
And I think we are
program
going to
for
take
me.
we are going to take that as one of our topic of discussion.
Let me share this with you. There's one priest. He cried on the altar when doing and giving funeral last liturgical mass to one girl, because what happened? They called him, come and where I am busy, I'm going to this. They did not think, or he did not think for one that child
Could die.
Yes. He was shocked to receive the news that late evening that
that child had died.
he cried.
He will leave that. He will leave
He
that on his
cried.
conscience.
When he was preaching on the altar, he cried. He explained it. He could not hold it.
Can imagine
He shared
the
it.
pain.
1 week after, when they removed that girl, he was still the one to handle the sermon. He cried
Yes.
that if I knew,
If I had
and that
known.
girl died without receiving
Hey,
that
Mama,
The
me.
sacrament,
the sacrament,
the anointing
anointing
of the sick.
of the sick. They did not. I am telling you that it was just maybe a minor case, and then they just look at it.
And said, no,
No.
let us call for the
But
sacrament,
let's just call.
anointing of the sick.
Let's just call so that they come. But since they too, or the priest could not just imagine that it's something serious that would take her life, he never went and Late in the evening.
Are our priests too busy to attend to the needs of the Christians? That will be one of our topic of discussion in subsequent edition of the program. We have this contribution from Beatrice. Beatrice is saying that I think it's a show because that's the time people will want to prove to their enemies that they have money. They will be spending millions up and down. Meanwhile, when the person was alive, they didn't give even 100 francs to help or support the person. Beatrice, thank you so much for your contribution on issues today. And we also have Judith. Judith says that most often it is a show rather than a time of grief. Thank you, Judith, for your contribution, that it is most often a show than grief. Thank you so much, Judith. We are coming to the end of our program, and before we leave, I would like you to give your last words as we leave. Madam Sarah?
All in all, we are saying that let us show love to one another, especially when they are alive. Do not do those things which you are not supposed to do because you want to please the society. Think of those behind you. Think of where that person is going to spend eternity. Think of your own self. Think about death, and then tell yourself the truth. Let us be gentle in the way we celebrate our loved ones this day.
Thank you so much, Mama Shira.
Yeah, I'll tell us that you should celebrate, show your wealth if you can. Provided the wealth is genuinely gotten. Let it not be scamming money to come and prepare food for us. So display it when it is genuine, and while you can. But if you did not show that person the love while they were alive, then keep your money in your pocket and do unto others what you want them to do for you.
Beautifully said. And we are also talking to those who belong to small groups, because often if you look at their constitution, it is stated there, death of a member
is always
50,000, and you not even see birthday of a member.
You not see sick.
You not see sick, ill health of a member. But they are planning for the death of a member. It is not bad, but what we are saying is that celebrate with them while they are still alive.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful discussion, an educative one. Thank you, Madam Sarah. Thank you, Mama Shira, for being part of this program today. And thank you to our viewers and those who contributed. We say a happy weekend to you, and do not forget to tune in on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. for a rebroadcast of the program Issues. Until our next edition, which comes up on Friday at 5 p.m. Stay tuned to other wonderful programs on DMR TV. I have been Fomucha Mirabel for presentation. Goodbye.